welcome to the Inland Sports Show here at the Mike's Fitness Equipment Studio. My name is Pep Fernandez, live and amplified every single Wednesday, 6 o'clock, or right around there here at Teen Vision TV 16. Big show as we fully go into the winter sports season. It feels like we just got here, but we're already talking about the playoffs coming up in a couple of weeks. Big show. We're going to talk wrestling. We're going to talk high school baseball as we get into the spring season, which is now right around the corner, and of course, some high school hoops. And that's where we start tonight, because joining us live in studio right now, the head coach of the Citrus Hill Hawks, Davey Hopkins, in the house. Coach, it's always good to see you. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. It's always good. I'm doing well.
You guys are undefeated right now in the Mountain Pass League. Things are pretty good right now at Citrus Hill.
Yeah, we got one loss.
Oh, you have one loss, but you're first place.
We have a couple game lead, so we're sitting. I'll take that 2-game lead. But yeah, everything's good. So a couple tough games coming out to close the league, but if we continue our path, then we should be okay.
So I know, like right behind you, you just mentioned it, there's like a log jam of a lot of teams a couple games back. But like you said, you're kind of sitting pretty right now on top. What do you guys have to do in these last, is it just a week and a half now? I mean, we're coming down the home stretch. What do you guys have to do to kind of hold on here and get that Mountain Pass League championship?
Yeah, leagues go so quick in high school. It's crazy. But all the teams that are logged in there, 4-3, we play all those teams. So it could really turn around either way. So we're just tell our team to worry about the team that's in front of you. Can't control other teams, just control what you can control. So let's just focus and practice for that team, and that's our approach going forward.
And speaking of just beating whoever's in front of you, last night in front of you was on the road at Tockwitz, and I saw the final score. I didn't see the stats, but you said how many threes?
Last night the fellas shot the ball pretty well. They hit 19 threes.
What?
So yeah, it was unusual night. They caught fire, so I was happy for them.
Was James Harden out there? I mean, what was going on?
Okay, let's not get carried away here. No, yeah, it was a good night for them. They shot it well. So 19
triples as a team, and you said Brian Brown, who's a fantastic scorer. I think he's around 21 a game, but he had like nine of those 19.
Yeah, he's had a great week. He's on a hot streak. He puts the ball in well. He has a lot of responsibility, and he shot it well. So I just said kind of ride the wave out. And the last couple games, he's hit 9 threes and 8 threes. So he's a I don't know if he'll keep going at that rate, but he's a good player
impressive.
for us. Yeah, he's a good shooter.
So big win last night on the road at Tockwitz in Mountain Pass League play. We were talking about the stats, but maybe even beyond the court. You said obviously everyone knows about Kobe Bryant, the tragedy on Sunday. A lot of high school teams across the Inland Empire are doing their own individual ways to kind of honor Kobe Bryant and his family and all of those who perished in that tragic accident on Sunday. What did you guys do in your game at Tockwitz last night?
Well, I mean, he's such an inspirational person, not just a basketball player, but just a person. But Tockwitz had I can't take credit, they had a great idea of, both teams had number 24 players, so we had them do a jump ball. Tockwitz got the tip, and then we stopped the shot clock at 24 seconds, and then they kind of dribbled past half court, stopped it at 8 seconds, gave a moment of silence, and then we continued the game from there. So it was it's real nice. It's just nice to see such a wide ages affected by it, from 10 years old to up to 60, 70 years old people. He's very inspirational to artists and musicians and just regular average Joes. Just something to look up to, maximize what you have. So yeah, it was tough, and I thought Tockwitz did an excellent job on that. So
yeah, a lot of teams, again, across the IE doing what they can to honor Kobe Bryant. And I know this is not the time or the place to argue the Kobe versus LeBron debate, but I know LeBron just passed Kobe on the all-time scoring list. But, growing up watching Michael Jordan in his heyday, I would say Kobe's the closest thing that we've ever seen, will ever see to MJ.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of mirrored one another, and just even their approach and mindset. LeBron's in his own category, so they're they all respect each other so much, and that's when you're really great at something, is when you can be humble enough to respect the other person, and they did that. And yeah, Kobe was like a kind of a dying breed. So yeah, and then now he's gone forever, and it's tough. So
it is very tough. It was an emotional night, but a big win for Citrus Hill last night against Tockwitz in Mountain Pass League play. Coach, is it too early to start looking ahead at those other teams in your playoff division? Just like, hey, you know what? We need to keep an eye on some of these teams just in case, because at this point, barring a major collapse, and we don't think that's going to happen here for Citrus Hill, but you will be in the playoffs, and who knows if this team could make a run here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still new to coaching, and that's the kind of the $1 million question. How far do you look ahead? What do you plan for? And I think every team's its own team, and that's something I'm learning a lot. And what worked for one team may not work for another, and I kind of take it more day by day with them and like within the team, and us coaches kind of look ahead a little bit to see what could happen, and that's been working well the last few months, and I kind of keeping that approach with the teams. But yeah, I mean, you can't help but to look at the playoffs a little bit, but those always change until that last one comes out, and you never know. And then you're planning, watching 5 teams, and you end up playing that 6th team, and you're like, all right.
You're like, where did they come from?
So I'm just, we'll just one game at a time, and then as that comes, maybe we'll try to narrow it down to what we can think maybe a potential matchup, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I know. I have a lot of people hit me up and they say, who do you think we're going to play? And I'm like, sorry, I'm not going to sit down and try to do the math. I'm going to wait till Saturday or Sunday or whenever the brackets come out and see how they look when everybody else sees them for the first time. But
absolutely.
How many years have you been at Citrus Hill? Is it 3?
I've worked there 4 years, was an assistant coach with Tim Hatch, and then this is my 3rd season
as the head coach.
Yeah, time goes by fast. I can't believe it.
How have you evolved, do you think, as a head coach? I mean, from the first time you rolled out the balls as the head coach for the first time and to where we are, right now, have you had to change, adapt, be tougher, ease up? I mean, how have you kind of evolved?
I think every team's its own team, and like it's such a year-to-year thing. I've found myself maybe not micromanaging so much a little bit, that I came from, playing at all these different levels, and then coming back to high school, I just realized, okay, they only know what they know. So I'm trying to just kind of get fundamentals and just kind of simplify the game a little bit. And then now this is my 3rd year with these boys, it's kind of weird because I have a few kids I coached for 3 years, a couple kids now 1 year. So finding that balance is just being like listening, asking them, and then just being a little bit more patient, not micromanaging. But then sometimes that backfires, and I'm like, all right, I got to be a little bit more strict and tighten things up. But yeah, that's the beauty of it, is I feel like I learn every week something new about a situation or someone's home life, or you just never know what happens. So every year is this new one, but I feel like I've just been a little bit more maybe patient, I guess, of year 3 compared to year 1.
So 3rd year as the head coach at Citrus Hill, and as you go along through the seasons, I know you're shooting a lot of threes right now, but do you kind of change based on the players that you have, or you're like, no, we're going to be a run and gun, we're going to score a lot of points, we're going to put up a lot of 3-point shots, or do you kind of again adjust to the guys you have in the program?
That's every game we match up differently. A couple teams are playing us against 2-3 zones the last couple of games, and get a lot of 3-point attempts up. I don't like to settle. It's kind of a coach's nightmare when your team catches fire a little bit. At the moment, it's great. Then the kids start settling and then start jacking up threes, and you're like, all right, let's get back to our fundamentals. But yeah, every game's its own. We had to mix up different defenses, tried it, and I wouldn't say we're so run and gun. I guess we're maybe in spotty run and gun. We try to pick our spots when we can feel like we have a good lineup in where we could push the tempo, or sometimes without we need to, hey, let's slow it down. Let's stay in front of a guy for a little bit. But yeah, I think every game's its own game. So.
Now, the Mountain Pass League has been, across the board, really good for basketball. We've seen different teams. I mean, Beaumont's had good runs. We've seen Tahquitz have some really good teams in the past. When you came into this season, though, did you feel like when all the dust settled, that Citrus Hill was going to be in the mix, hopefully for a league championship, now that we're coming down to the last couple of games? Yeah,
I mean, if you were asking me during the summer, I thought it would have been us and Beaumont kind of up there competing, and then who knows what the top 3 is. But I always thought, we'll be top 3. Then West Valley comes out of nowhere. They got 2 good sophomores that are stepping up and beating some teams, kind of. And then San Jacinto get a couple guys from football that came back out, and then they got some returners that are good, and they're kind of surprising some team, competing, beating some teams too. So yeah, it's a kind of a humbling league, because you just have to go just kind of manipulate the kids and motivate the kids to. Every game you got to be up, and then being at Citrus Hill, from just football, I got some football guys all the way down to now the guys that are sophomores, the seniors, they have a somewhat of a target on their back within our league. So that's a good challenge for them to realize, hey, people are like kind of chasing you a little bit. You gotta match that intensity, and my seniors are doing a decent job on that this year.
And you bring up a good point. Now that you're in your 3rd year as the head coach, you've had some of these kids in the program for more than a couple of years. Does it pay off, as opposed to coming in as a first-year head coach. You've had these kids, and they know what the expectation is because you've had them around for a couple of years. It must, pay dividends to have those seniors who've been with you for a little bit.
Yeah, I wish, like the seniors I had in my first year, they were great kids, and I wish I had them for 3 years. You always play the what if, like, oh, how good could have got this kid because I only had him 1 year, or what was his potential? But having them as sophomores definitely is an advantage for you as a coach. Not just improvement as skill set, I would say more relational and like how you think and how you approach day-to-day work. And then I learned how they approach day-to-day work and what we need to do to meet in the middle or to push each other. And I mean, they challenge me sometimes. Sometimes hey coach, let's get in the gym and do stuff. I'm like, all right, we'll go. I don't always want to go up and open the gym, but as long as they're seeking that and they come out and push that, I'm happy to do it for them. And it's been having them 3 years and I'm a younger guy. They don't know that, but I'm
they
younger.
They know you used the ball, right?
A little bit, yeah. Once in a while, I'll hop in drills, but now they're like my little bros, kind of. Yeah. So it's a cool experience, cool bonding with them.
Well, it's been a great season so far. Now you're just a couple wins away from a Mountain Pass League championship and hopefully a deep CIF playoff run as well. Coach Hopkins, good to see you. Congratulations. And I know there's still a lot of